There's an old joke that goes, percentage of colleges whose view books show students having class outdoors, 99%. Percentage of colleges that actually ever meet outdoors, 1%. Imagine going to classes outdoors, on farms, in gardens and orchards and vineyards at peak growing season in Burlington, Vermont, studying and living with like-minded people. But not just some summer camp, serious science, practical skills, hands-on, new ideas, college credit, money savings, catch up or get ahead. That's University of Vermont On-Farm Summer Institute. A lot of students have asked UVM to offer its core plant and soil science courses and a group of electives during the growing season. Here's what faculty and students say about those courses.
You know, one of the keys with this course is that it was designed from the get-go as being part of an integrated Summer Institute package. So we really made a point of fitting it into a pretty good integrated program, so that a student can take all 4 or 5 courses this summer and get a really well integrated package, you know, where this is the production course that everything's around, but there's also a weed science course, an entomology course, and a plant pathology course, all of them relating back to this one. Well, the highlights of the course is that the course is based here at the farm. The building is right in the middle of all the orchards, so every day we're going to be out there working with the trees. We will be doing some hands-on work, actually putting pruners in your hands, actually counting bugs, actually doing some of the things that growers do, you know, crop estimation. We're also going to be getting away from here in commercial farms in the area, so we can see what people who are doing this for a living actually are doing and compare to that and you know, give folks a sense for what it's going to take when they get out there in the world.
The course deals with plant pathology, and these are some of the books of plant diseases for certain groups of plants. We also discuss the organisms that cause plant disease, the bacteria, fungi, viruses, and oomycetes that are important causes of disease. I take a little bit of liberty in the course to introduce some mycology to the study of fungi. By focusing on the organisms, I think you get a better sense of what's really going on in the dynamic of plant disease. And that's very relevant in terms of understanding how to control disease, both from a cultural point of view and then other types of interventions, including fungicides, which we do discuss. It's a required course for certain majors, and it could be convenient for certain people to have a summer offering. But also, during the summertime, there's a lot of things growing that we don't have access to in the fall semester. I appreciate that there's a broad range of people taking the course, and I try to make it accessible to everybody. And at the same time, I think everyone is challenged a little bit. I hope they are.
My class is really focused on the whole initiative and problem-solving approach. If you wanted to intercrop, what would that mean? What kind of varieties would you choose? What was the timing of things? And what are the trade-offs when you make certain choices? I've had some growers come to me and say, I wish I had a course like this when I was starting.
John sends you out to have collections to actually choose which insects you want to find, how you're going to find them, and from my perspective, it just opened my eyes to what's out there, I guess. What are all those little small crawly things that you didn't know were there? Come up with all these different techniques of being able to find the bugs. And then on top of that, you also learn lots about if you're going to, you know, maybe you're not going to be an agriculturalist or agronomist, but if you want to grow a garden, you have techniques of how to scout for bugs. Like all this really useful and practical knowledge. The highlight of the course is the bug collection, without a doubt. You get to go outside, identify and collect bugs like you're a little kid. And then of course, John. I think John is probably if not the most knowledgeable professor I've ever had, definitely the funniest. So.
Well, there are, and we will definitely look at and study some of these weeds. There are some particular weeds that just amaze me. A lot of our activity for crop production is managing weeds. It becomes a very expensive part of our input costs in controlling weeds. They're just part of that ecosystem, and that's one thing we learned about in that course is why are they important and how they interact with our cropping system. Both, they're always going to be there, but also how we can manage that in a sustainable way. So we spend a lot of time in the field, and especially this summer. We'll do some actual in-field research, if you want to call it that. Oftentimes we'll do a weed seed bank study where we evaluate the populations of the weeds in a particular field and how that affects crop management. We do a lot of on-site visits with different farms or landscape professionals and ask them how they manage the weeds, what kind of weed problems they have. I really look at this course as an introduction to the ecology of disturbed landscapes, whether it be crops, fields, or landscapes around the urban environment, because the weeds really interact that way. So we do a lot of hands-on.
If someone wants to take the whole package, I think it's going to be a really nice one. You can get a whole semester done in the summer. What better place to live in Vermont than Burlington in the summer? So I really hope people take it and take the whole package.
UVM On-Farm Summer Institute courses begin in May and rotate in as late as mid-July. Registration has already begun. Course size is limited and may fill quickly. To learn more or register now, visit our website or send us an email.